Practical session on the recent introduction of this provision in the Finance Act, and thereby again thereafter some clarification being provided by the CBDT. The topic being a higher rate of TDS CCN on non-filers. So, what exactly is the section and how shall it operate? Thought this would be kind of prominent for everyone to, so that thought to have a webinar on this. Before starting, I would like to acknowledge the efforts of Harsha and Gracelyn for preparing this PPT. The legends used AY assessment year, CBDT Central Board of Direct Taxes, financial year FI, ITA Income Tax Act, ITR Income Tax Return, P and PAN, P Permanent Establishment, TCS, TDS Tax Collected and Tax Deducted from US under section. Schema for the evening, the background analysis of this new provisions, section 206AB and 206CCA. Compliance check functionality. This is something which was introduced as a clarification for the section last week. The illustrations and the way forward. So the background. So as you can see, friends, only 1% of the Indian population pays income tax and declares earnings above the non-taxable income. On a constant effort of addressing tax evasion, the government, to ensure filing of returns and receive the actual tax revenue to its coffers, has chosen to impose a higher rate of withholding on gross income. Finance Act 2021 inserted two new sections, as I said, 206AB and 206CCA, which will have effect from the 1st of July 2021 for the purpose of higher rate of TDS and TCS respectively. So what exactly is the rationale, friends, for introduction of this section, or these sections rather? India is losing around 75,000 crores in taxes every year. The social impact of the lost tax is equivalent to 44.7% which of the health budget and 10.68% of the education spending, which is quite huge. The insertion of these sections is a recovery mechanism. So with this insertion, if there are, say, non-filers and that being the case, higher rate of TDS is charged. Obviously, when there are higher rate of TDS, the collection in turn would be higher. TDS rates generally are lower. So if you see, friends, the professional fee TDS rate is, say, 10%. The rent it is 10%, and commission it is 5% or 10%. If you compare this rate with the slab rate generally falls 5%, 20%, 30%. The TDS rate would certainly be the effective TDS rate, or rather, the TDS rate would be certainly less than the effective tax rate. So just to ensure that in case of people who are defaulting in the provisions of TDS or in terms of return filing, to introduce a higher rate of TDS or TCS as the case, and hence these sections were introduced. Analysis of the sections. What does the section stipulate? It says that there will be higher rate in case of certain non-filers of return of income, which are regarded as specified persons. Who is a specified persons? We'll see later, friends, with respect to certain tax deductions and tax collections. What should be the higher rate of TDS? That would be higher of the following, that is twice the rate provided in the respective section, twice the rates in force, and 5%, whichever is higher. For TCS, what is the higher rate? Twice the rate provided in the respective section and 5%, whichever is higher. So let us understand with the help of an example. Mr. B is receiving professional services from Mr. A, a resident individual, and accordingly, it's more than, assuming the amount of professional fees is more than 30,000. TDS under section 194J is applicable. Now consider Mr. A is a specified person. So what is specified? We'll see later, friends. The rate of TDS shall be determined as follows. So what shall be the rate of TDS? Twice the rate provided in the respective return, that is 20%. So 10% into 2, 20%. Twice the rates in force. In this case, it would not be applicable. The standard rate of 5%. Whichever is higher, is 20%. Now, this is pretty simple, friends. Now let us understand what is the meaning of a specified person. Who is a specified person? Specified person means a person who gets captured under both of the following. So both the conditions needs to be fulfilled for a person to be regarded as specified person. Has not filed the return of income for both of the two AYs relevant to the two PYs immediately before the PY in which tax is required to be deducted or collected. So thus, for the purpose of financial year 21-22, the relevant PY would be a year before, 2 years before the year preceding the 21-22. That is financial year 2018-19 and 2019-20. This has been again clarified by the circular number 11 in 2021. And the second condition, aggregate of TDS or TCS is equals to or is greater than 50,000 in each of the two previous years. So in the condition being, there has to be aggregate of TDS or TCS equal to or exceeding 50,000 each of the previous years. Now, where does the applicability would be there in terms of non-resident? Further, a non-resident who does not have a P is not covered under this section. Only a resident who has a P in India will be subject to higher TDS rate. So there is an exclusion, friends. A non-resident who does not have a P will not have the implication under this section. So no higher rate of TDS, TCS would be prescribed. Further, where exactly is the non-applicability of section 206 AB? It shall not apply in case of salary, withdrawal of accumulated balance of RPF, that is recognized provident funds, winnings from lotteries, crossword puzzles, card games, winnings from horse races, income with respect to investment in securitization trust, TDS and cash withdrawal. So these are the sections where there won't be applicability of higher TDS, which is prescribed in 206 AB. Higher TDS for non-furnishing of funds. As we have seen, friends, earlier there was introduction of 206 AA and 206 CC for higher rate of TDS or TCS for non-furnishing of PAN, that is 20%. 20% for TDS, 5% for TCS. As per subsection 2 of both 206 AB and 206 CCA, where the assessee, the specified person has not furnished his PAN, then the relevant rate would be higher of rate determined in 206 AA or CC for non-furnishing of PAN, and rate determined as per 206 AB and 206 CCA. So friends, if there is both the sections applicable, where there is a higher rate of TDS applicable under section 206 AB, say for consider TDS only for time being, higher rate of TDS is applicable under section 206 AB, and there is no furnishing of PAN. So then how the TDS rate will be arrived at? So first we need to calculate the rate as per 206 AB, as we have seen, friends, higher of the twice of the rate provided in the respective section, twice the rate of finance rates in force, and 20%, whichever is higher. That whatever figure or rate comes, that again will be compared with the rate prescribed under 206 AA for non-furnishing of PAN. Let's consider an illustration. Mr. B, in receipt of contract services from Mr. A, a resident individual, is liable to deduct TDS as per section 194C. In case Mr. A is a specified parent fails to furnish PAN, then the rate of TDS shall be determined as follows. Firstly, we need to determine the higher rate as per section 206 AA. Rate specified in the respective section is 1%. Twice the rates in force is not applicable, and standard rate is 20%. So 206 AA is for non-furnishing of PAN, friends. So higher of the above is 20%. Now determining higher rate as per section 206 AB, that is higher rate of TDS, which we are seeing, friends. Twice the rate provided in the respective section, that is 2%. Twice the rates in force, again not applicable. Standard rate is 5%. Now that being the case, higher of the above is 5%. So now higher of 20 and 5, which would be 20%. In this scenario, the deduction of TDS would happen at 20%. Hope this is clear, friends. Quite a simple illustration. Now compliance check functionality. So now when this provisions were introduced by Finance Act 2021, there were a lot of ambiguities as to how someone would know who is a specified person and how that check and all will happen. So CBDT came up with a circular last week, circular 11/2021, and said that the deductor, and it clarified the following, or it rather provided a compliance check functionality. How does that compliance check functionality works? It is seen that this section places a burden, as we have seen, on the tax deductor or collector to ensure that the deductee or collector is not a specified person. Now, the deductor collector stands to be at the risk of being declared. So, say for example, if deductor or collector would not know that the deductee or the collectee is a specified person or not, he would be regarded as assessing default if he is not complying with the TDS provisions, which are envisaged in 206 AB and 206 CC. So, and once that non-compliance happens, he would be regarded as assessing default, and there will be penal consequences. So in order to reduce the burden on the tax deductors and collectors and to ensure wider adoption of provisions, the CBDT rolled out compliance check for section 206 AB and 206 CCA. The deductor, so how does it will work? The deductor or collector, upon feeding the PAN of the deductee or clicking the online portal, either single or in bulk, would be able to know if such deductee or collectee is a specified person or not. So this makes life simple for deductor and collector. Once the PAN of deductee or collectee is inserted, automatically the portal will throw or pop up show a pop up whether that person, the deductee or collectee, is a specified person or not. In the absence of this utility, the tax deductors or collectors will be obligated to ask the deductee or collectee for a copy of the ITR, or might have had to obtain a declaration in writing from them. So just imagine, friends, if this functionality would have not been there, either we have to ask the copy of the income tax return filed by the deductee, or rather obtain a written declaration. Now that would not be the case. With this compliance check functionality in place, we ourselves can confirm whether or the deductor can confirm whether the person is the deductee or collectee is a specified person or not. So there are various FAQs, friends. Firstly, for financial year 21-22, when will be the list be prepared? Which previous years would be considered? So the list of specifics is prepared as on the start of the financial year generally, but however, as this provision is coming into effect from 1st July 2021, the application would be from 2021. The list also would be prepared on the 1st of July 2021. But going forward for say financial year 22-23 onwards, it would be on 1st April of every financial year. Again, for previous year 21-22, the relevant PY would be previous year 18-19 and 19-20. Once the list is prepared, will new names would be added to the list during the financial year? No new names would be added. This reduces the burden of checking for non-specified person more than once in a financial year. So for example, friends, if a check is done on one person and he's regarded as non-specified person, no need of checking once again. However, when a person is regarded as a specified person, it is required to recheck every time whether that person is a specified person or is there or not, because the names would be removed from the list. As and when again a concrete data is available with the income tax department, the names also would be removed from the list. When will names be removed from the list? So let us consider with an example of with respect to financial year 21-22 for better understanding. If a valid return is filed for financial year 2018-19 or 2019-20 during the financial year 21-22, such person's name would be removed from the list of specified persons. So now one may have a doubt, like for financial year 21-22, even the due date of filing belated or revised return is lapsed. So how can someone file return for 18-19 and 19-20, 21-22? There's one possibility wherein like a notice is issued under section 142(1). Then in such a scenario, filing of such returns is possible. Second possibility, when the name would be removed from the list, if a valid ITR is filed for financial year 2021. Friends, please be clear here. In the first, we saw 18-19 and 19-20. Now we are seeing for financial year 2021. If a valid return is filed for financial year 2021, such person's name would be removed from the list of specified person as on the due date of filing of such return or the date of filing of actual return, whichever is later. Thirdly, if the aggregate of TDS and TCS in case of specified person in PY 2021 is less than 50,000. So here, friends, please make it clear again, 2021 return is not being filed, but the TDS liability aggregate is less than 50,000. The name would be again removed as on the first due date under section 139 falling in financial year 21-22. Belated and revised TCS and TDS return of the relevant financial years filed during the financial year 21-22 would also be considered for removing persons from the list of specified persons on a regular basis. So say for example, if there is again some revision in the TDS returns done by the deductor or collector, accordingly the names are say subsequent. So initially, say for example, the TDS was for a specified person, the say TDS was say 52,000, but after revision it got reduced to 48,000 in a year. That being the case, the name gets automatically removed. Now the illustration. Let us now consider. So we have seen the section, we have seen the FAQs. Now let us see the illustrations. In all the cases where a person is stated as specified on non, it is assumed that TDS. So we have for the ease of understanding, we have assumed the TDS TCS liabilities was more than 50,000. For financial case scenario 1 for financial year 2018-19, ITR not filed. Financial year 2019-20, ITR not filed. Immediately previous year, financial year 2021, ITR not filed. For 21-22, the deductive or collective would be regarded as specified person because ITR not filed in both relevant previous year. As we have seen, friends, assumption the TDS is more than 50,000 rupees, TDS or TCS. Second scenario, ITR filed in 18-19, ITR not filed in 19-20, ITR not filed in 2021, not a specified reason because the section says he should be doing the non-filing in both the previous year, that is 18-19 as well as 19-20. Third scenario, friends, ITR not filed in 18-19, ITR not filed in 19-20, ITR filed for financial year 2021 on 20th-7-2021. It would be a specified from applicability of first of the section, that is 1st July 2021 till 30th September 2021. Thereafter, the name shall be removed from the list. So you have, friends, if ITR is not filed for both the years 18, 19, 19, but for 2021, if it is filed for 27 on 27 2021, from 1st July, that is from the day when this section is in operation till 30th September, that is the due date. Why 30th September, friends? Here again, for financial year 2021, the due date of return filing has been extended to 30th of September. So from 1st July 2021 to 30th of September 2021, that person would be regarded as a specified person. Thereafter, he would not be regarded as a specified person, or its name would be removed from the list. ITR not filed TDS less than 50,000, ITR not filed TDS more than 50,000 in 1920, ITR not filed in 2021, not a specified fund because less than 50,000 in financial year 18-19. Another scenario, friends, ITR not filed again in 18-19, 1920 again ITR not filed, 2021 again ITR not filed, but TDS is less than 50,000. Now, again, the same scenario like scenario number 3, it would be a specified for applicability of this section, that is 1st July 2021 till 30th September 2020. Thereafter, the name shall be removed from the list. Another scenario, friends, ITR for 18-19 filed in 21-22, 19-20 ITR not filed, 2021 ITR not filed. What shall be the implication for financial year 21-22? The person would be regarded as a specified method till the date of filing return for financial year 18-19 in current FY. So till the time the return of income is not being filed and in the financial year 21-22, till that date, he would be regarded as a specified person. Thereafter, the name would be removed. ITR not filed TDS more than 50,000, ITR not filed again TDS more than 50,000, 2021 ITR not filed. Specified person because for both the years, ITR has not filed and TDS liability is more than 50,000. In scenario say 7A above, if in financial year 21-20 a revised TDS return is filed revising the TDS amount for financial year 2018-19 to be less than 50,000, then such person's name would be removed from the list. As we have seen, friends, in case there is revision of TDS returns by deductor and the liability gets reduced to less than 50,000, then in such a scenario, the name would be removed from the specified persons list. So let us see one more example, friends, how that the transition period will work. So say for example, assume an assessee is in receipt of professional fees subject to TDS at 10% under section 194J. And for financial year 18-19 and 19-20, ITR not filed, TDS liabilities more than 50,000. Includes a specified person list for the purpose of TDS deduction with effect from 1/7/2021. So for 18-19 and 19-20, ITR not filed, TDS liability is more than 50,000. Person is included in the specified person list. For financial year 2021, TDS and TCS liability is less than 50,000. Again, removed from specified person list with effect from 39/21. So as we have seen, friends, in illustration 3 and 5, the name is removed on 1st of October 2021. Now, how the TDS deduction will happen? So from 1/7/2021 till 39/2021, TDS would be at the rate of 20%, twice of 10% of which 5%, whichever is higher. and with effect from 1/10/2021 till 31st March 2022. TDS would be at the rate of 10%. So this is what is the example, friends. So till the time the name is there in the list of specified persons, that is, the applicability would be there till the return filing due date, which is 39/21 for financial year 2021. Till 39/21, the TDS would be at the rate of 20%. From 1st 10/2021 till 31st March 2022, TDS would be at the rate of 10%. What shall be the responsibility of deductor? Case of non-specified person, no need to check except at the beginning of each financial year. In case of specified persons, need to recheck every time as and when the TDS and TCS is being charged. In case of non-residents, due diligence to carry out to identify whether P exists or not. This might be difficult to give given that the existence of a varies on a case-to-case and is subject to litigations. Non-resident not having PE in India, to avoid unnecessary penalties, and it is advised to obtain a declaration to such effect. So this would be the responsibility of deductor in various scenarios. Further, again, it will be crucial to check the status of specified person, especially after 31st July, 30th September, 30th November. If returns of the immediately preceding previous year are filed, then such names will be removed from the list on the due date of filing. Way forward, friends. As we have seen, friends, higher TDS in case of higher TDS and TCS in case of PAN not being furnished got a welcome move, and there was increase in the or there was rather a compliance check being done on the various defaulters. Likewise, this section for higher rate of TDS and TCS 206 AB and 206 CCA is expected that will be instrumental in filing timely returns of timely filing of returns, and also there would be some check which would happen on the default part. Only one thing to be clarified here, friends. There is one clarification which is yet to be expected, that while calculating the aggregate amount of TDS or TCS, whether it shall include the sections not applicable for higher rate of TDS. So we have seen, friends, salary, withdrawal from RPF, section 194, and cash withdrawal. On these sections, TDS at higher rate under section 206 AB or TCS 206 CA is not applicable, or rather 206 AB TDS is not applicable. Now, there is no clarity as to whether, while calculating the 50,000 liability, whether the liability of TDS only under the sections in which the higher rate of TDS is applicable would be considered, or even we have to consider the sections which are not applicable for higher rate of TDS. So there is no clarity on this aspect, friends. Maybe we can expect more, but on a plain reading, it seems to be that person only when regarded as a specified person, and when it could be regarded as specified only when the sections which are liable for higher rate of TDS. So plain reading looks or implies that only, the sections where non-applicability there would not be considered, but still there is a clarity required in this regard. So these are some of our thoughts, friends, on the new provisions of TDS and TCS for higher rate of TDS. What was the provision and how it will function? Thank you, friends.